She looked me in the eye and said, "I'm not missing my best friend's wedding. You'll be fine." I couldn't shower, walk, or cook, but she left anyway. So I packed her forgotten bridesmaid dress in a box with a breakup letter and delivered it to her mom. I'm 34. A week before my girlfriend Melissa's best friend's wedding, I was in a pretty serious car accident. It wasn't fatal, thankfully, but it wasn't minor either. Fractured collarbone, cracked ribs, torn up leg. I couldn't walk without help. Even small things, showering, taking my meds, changing, became near impossible. The doctor told me flat out, "You'll need someone with you daily, at least for the next week or two." Melissa and I had been living together for over a year. We'd been dating for nearly 3. I thought I knew how solid we were. At the very least, I thought I mattered enough to be more important than a beach wedding. But 2 days after the accident, when I was discharged from the hospital, she didn't pick me up. My mom did. When I got home, Melissa was in the kitchen, zipping up a suitcase. Bottles of sunscreen and makeup were scattered across the counter. Her heels were lined up, like she was picking which pair went best with ocean selfies. "Wait, you're still going?" I asked, my arm in a sling, my ribs wrapped, barely making it through the doorway. She didn't even turn around. "It's Madison's wedding, Josh. I'm maid of honor. I've known her since middle school. I have to go." "You don't think I need you here?" I asked quietly. "I can't even shower alone right now." She sighed and finally looked at me. "You have your mom. Or hire someone. It's not like you're dying, Josh. You'll manage." That hit harder than the collision I'd just survived. This wasn't a vacation that had been planned for months. This was something I thought she'd naturally reconsider, given what happened. We're not talking about a work obligation or a family funeral. It was a party, a beach wedding. I wasn't trying to guilt her. I just assumed this would be one of those moments where love shows up, even when it's inconvenient. Instead, she hugged me the way you'd hug someone you barely know who's sick, like she didn't want to get too close. No real emotion, no warmth. Just a quick pat on the back and a feel better. And then she left. I sat in the silence of the apartment, painkillers barely taking the edge off my ribs. I stared at the closed door and thought to myself, this is not what love looks like. I didn't make a scene. I didn't call her or argue. But something shifted in me that day. Something that told me this relationship wasn't what I thought it was. So I made some calls. I started to think not just about healing, but about what kind of life I wanted to come back to. The next morning, I called Melissa's mom and asked if she could stop by once a day to check in. She agreed right away, sounding more concerned than Melissa had been. After that, I reached out to a local caregiving service. They sent a woman named Carla who helped me with medication, meals, and basic tasks. She was kind, didn't talk too much, didn't pity me, just helped me get through each day with dignity. I moved into the guest room that evening. I didn't want to sleep in the bed we'd shared. It felt off, like I'd be pretending everything was okay when it really wasn't. 3 days passed. Melissa called here and there. Quick FaceTimes. No real depth. Then came the beach call. She was wearing a bright sundress and big sunglasses, the kind she'd picked out on our last vacation together. The ocean shimmered behind her. Laughter floated through the call. Someone in the background yelled, "Brunch time." "Hey babe," she said, brushing her hair back with a smile. "Just checking in. Isn't this place gorgeous?" I was in the recliner, sling on, ribs aching, TV humming in the background. I nodded. "Looks nice." Madison cried when I gave my speech. She went on. "It was perfect. I'll tell you all about it when I get back. Feel better, okay?" She blew a kiss and hung up before I could say much. That call confirmed everything I'd already been feeling. That night, while the apartment was quiet, I noticed something. Melissa had forgotten her bridesmaid dress. It was still in the dry cleaning bag, hanging on the back of the bedroom door. A dusty rose color, long and formal, the kind brides wear for pictures more than comfort. I took it down gently, folded it into a box, and added a handwritten note. "Hope the wedding was beautiful. Thought you might want this back, along with your freedom. Since I clearly wasn't a priority, I've made sure you're not mine either." The next day, I dropped the box off at her mom's place. Didn't wait around. Didn't send a text. Just walked back to the car, slowly, stiffly, and sat there for a while, watching the neighborhood I'd driven through so many times with Melissa. This time was different. Saturday came and went. I stayed home, watched a few movies, ate soup from a paper bowl, and slept a lot. Every time I laughed at something on TV, my ribs reminded me I wasn't healed. Not yet. But inside, the decision was starting to feel lighter. Like I'd stopped waiting for someone to become the person I needed them to be, and finally accepted who they really were. Sunday morning, my phone lit up before I'd even finished my coffee. First text, "Did you drop my dress at my mom's?" Then another, "What's this note supposed to mean?" And then, about 5 minutes later, "You're breaking up with me? Over one weekend?" I didn't reply, not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I had already said everything I needed to say. And honestly, what more was there to explain? By Monday morning, she was back. She let herself in with her key, and I could hear her stomping around the apartment before I even came out of the guest room. She looked furious, tan, hair curled, suitcase still by the door. Are you serious right now? You left a breakup note. You couldn't wait until I got home and actually talk to me like an adult? I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her and said, you went to the beach while I was recovering from a car crash. Alone. I couldn't dress myself, Melissa. I couldn't open a bottle of water without help. She folded her arms. So I'm a monster because I didn't cancel my one fun weekend? I gave a speech. I was maid of honor. This wasn't just a random trip. No, I said calmly. You're not a monster because you went to a wedding. You're a monster because you chose a party over your partner in a time of actual need. You chose mimosas over meals, photos over presents. That weekend showed me everything I needed to know. She scoffed. Unbelievable. I had to smile and fake everything in front of Madison's whole family. I had to lie and say you were doing better, because apparently you think abandoning me without warning is mature? I paused. You left me alone, hurt, with no plan. I just returned the favor, with honesty. She didn't say anything for a second, just stared, then grabbed her suitcase and headed for the door. But not before adding one final shot. You know what? Maybe I'm just too independent for someone like you. Some people can't handle strong women with lives of their own. And with that, she left. A couple of hours later, one of our mutual friends sent me a screenshot of her Instagram story. A selfie from the wedding with a caption that read, some people can't handle confident women. Loyalty goes both ways. But the comments? They didn't go how she probably expected. One person replied, you left your boyfriend recovering from an accident for a beach wedding. That's not confidence. That's selfish. Another said, love means showing up when it's hard, not just when it fits your plans. She deleted the post about an hour later. As for me, I've been healing slowly, physically and otherwise. Carla, the caregiver who came by during those first few days, turned out to be a pretty cool person. Brought over soup once just because I mentioned I missed homemade stuff. Adjusted my sling without hesitation and didn't treat me like I was fragile. We've got a follow-up appointment next week. I'm thinking of asking if she'd like to grab dinner sometime. Not because I need someone, but because I'd like to spend time with someone who shows up when it matters.